Life as a student athlete isn't as easy as one may perceive. Balancing school and sport affects not only the student athlete, but also those around them. We talked to Claire Fuster to see what she thinks the National Sports School does to help their students balance school and sport.
My name is Claire Fuster, and I am a mental performance consultant.
Paying attention, and I'm going to crash, and it's going to hurt.
I've been at the school since 1999, but spent a few years looking after my own children instead of everybody else's children. I think what happens with athletes who come to the National Sports School is our goal is to try to help them get through as well an education as possible, or as positive an experience with their education as possible, while still participating at as high level as possible in their sport. The struggle with that is, in some sports, they're being demanded of 7 hours a day of school and 7 hours a day of training, and if you do the math, that is very tricky to accomplish. That's our hope, is that we can work with the families, we can work with the athletes to find out what works best for that family and that athlete. And it might be that they can take some schooling through the summer or some schooling at different times, maybe even in extended high school, so that it really allows them to get the quality education that they want, as well as the experience with sport that they want.
We asked some of the National Sports School students about an average day in their shoes. We never really understood how difficult it actually is to balance both school and sport until we spoke with student athletes themselves.
On an average skiing day, we train Monday to Friday. Drylands, we have twice a day, so 6:30 and 3:30. That's pretty tough.
Monday through Saturday, I skate upwards of 2 hours a day, and then 4 times a week I work out 2 hours a day as well as skating, so hectic. And then obviously trying to squish in time with friends, family, and homework.
With their busy schedules, we were wondering how much time is actually dedicated for sleep.
I aim for between 8 and 9, but because I have to wake up at around 5:30 for training and sometimes even 5:15, it normally ends up being about 6.
I like to get a lot of sleep. I usually try to get at least 8. On away trips, it's kind of tough, and with the tuning schedule and dryland schedule, it's just tough to get lots of sleep. So, but I do try to get the full 8.
According to Sleep Foundation, adolescents should get 9 to 9.5 hours of sleep. Every athlete we spoke to got much less than the recommended average. On top of having lack of sleep, these student athletes are under constant pressure to perform their best in both school and sport. We asked ourselves, how could this affect their mental health? Could it make them a stronger individual, or could it lead to some mental health problems?
When it comes to general health, I would say it's probably stress, high level stress, high level of anxiety as well. In general, I wouldn't say that all of the athletes, obviously, that come here have that, but if there was any one topic or mental health issue, that would be it. A big part of why I believe that's happening is there's some real demands on education, and the type of student that needs to be going into post-secondary needs to have fairly high marks these days. So that is a high stress for people, as well as the sport performance. So people are getting demands from sport, getting demands from their parents, getting demands from school, and their own personal philosophy on life if they want to do really well at things. So all of that adds up to difficulties and maybe some high anxiety and high stress.
be a student athlete takes a lot of dedication to both school and sport, and finding the perfect balance between the two. Athletes in Calgary have the opportunity to attend the National Sports School to become as successful as they can in and out of their sport.
My name is Courtney Howell, and I am a science teacher at the National Sports School. I think this is a place that we've had lots of teachers come and go. It sounds like a great place to teach, and it is a great place to teach, but only if your personality is suited to being flexible. A lot of teachers like to have everybody in the same place and control everything, and that's not the way it is here. You can have a class and everybody can be in a completely different spot once they come back from especially winter sports. So you really have to be okay with just having people in different spots and maybe not having as tight a control over the whole thing as you would like to have.
Well, first off, the teachers offer amazing support to finish your work, but it also offers that flexible time schedule to get to training or arrive late or leave early.
All athletes face obstacles throughout their career. We asked them about their experiences and how they managed to cope and overcome these barriers.
A couple years ago, I tore my ACL/MCL in a ski accident at Sunshine. I was not skiing for 6 months, and I just had to train harder and be motivated to come back and ski and improve.
When I've recently come off a pretty intense injury where I actually had to take some time off right before one of our biggest competitions, and that kind of threw a wrench in not only the training plan but also like the mental state. Like I became really anxious about jumping again because I was really scared to get hurt again. So it kind of influenced how I was training and pretty much how well I was going to do at that competition as well.
We realized that student athletes do struggle with balancing school and sport. They need to make choices to find the balance between these two. It is difficult to give up something they have worked so long and hard for, such as a competition, but in order to be successful, they need to make these challenging decisions.
A high-achieving student athlete will need to be disciplined, definitely. That student athlete will probably need to make some really serious choices. I actually don't like the word sacrifice because I see it as a negative, whereas I see the idea of a choice as a real positive. So you're getting control over what choices you're making. So yes, you might miss out on a party that you're been invited to, but your choice is to go through and be really great at your sleep so that you can have a really great day at training the next day. So I look at it more of a choice and maybe difficult choices as opposed to sacrificing things.
Life as a student athlete is unique. As athletes, stress on ourselves is extremely high, making us perfectionists with everything we do.